firstly, Happy New Year. As I'm sure you know, I'm Joe Powell, Chief Executive of All Wales People First. And this message is the first of quarterly messages I'm going to be sending to the members via our TV channel, Self-Advocacy TV, to talk to the members about some of the actions and activities of All Wales People First. And I've promised this in our mirror strategy, which is essentially our business plan, which of course we co-wrote with members. And in this we promised to speak to members 4 times a year on important issues that affect them. Today what I want to really start with is talking about the next National Council meeting in January, on the 27th and 20th of January. It's going to be a really important meeting. They're all important, but this one is especially important because we have a lot of important work to do. So I think the first thing to talk about is our consultation we sent out. We've sent out a couple. The consultation about the future of self-advocacy, and we've asked members across Wales, across our groups, to tell us how we can fix the current situation with self-advocacy. So as you know, because of the independent professional advocacy contracts, which places a statutory duty, that means you have to do it, on local authorities to provide advocacy, but not self-advocacy, it means some groups have found it difficult to survive for the future, which means that People First and self-advocacy across Wales is potentially in danger. So we finally made, I think we've made Welsh Government really aware of this, and they're sympathetic to it, which is great. We have ongoing talks with Welsh Government about how we're going to put this right. The next meeting of that was meant to be in January. They've agreed to put that meeting back till February so that we could speak to members, get their points of view, so that we could find some answers on the way forward to hopefully try and save self-advocacy across Wales. So your responses to that consultation is really important. So hopefully you've spoken to the members of your groups and you have some feedback and answers for us, so we can then take that to the meeting, to the Welsh Government in February, and give some positive answers and responses about the way forward, so we can try and save self-advocacy. So that's in the background. What was encouraging was I was at Learning Disability Wales conference in North Wales at the end of last year in November, and the Minister Julie Morgan was there, and a question was asked about self-advocacy and the future of self-advocacy, and the Minister says we are in ongoing talks with All Wales People First, and she also mentioned the fact that the National Council were having this consultation exercise. So I think that's a very positive sign. That's not an answer and that's not a guarantee that self-advocacy is safe, but for a minister to publicly acknowledge the problem and the fact that they're working with us and this consultation makes this even more important, and more important that you definitely have your say on that day. So that's a very important piece of work, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say about that. Obviously it's very easy to criticise and to say something should be better, but we're always on a much stronger ground if we can actually go to Welsh Government and actually come up with some solutions and some answers, and that's what this is about. Another important thing we want to run past you is our strategy. So that's a plan of action for the future of saving self-advocacy, which is called the 5 Giants. Now, you've not been sent this. You will be given this, a copy of this on your first day of the National Council on the 27th of January. And that document lays out the plan of action to ramp up our efforts, basically, to try and make sure that we do everything we can to make sure self-advocacy is saved across Wales. It will be given to you on the 27th, as I said. We would like you to do a little bit of homework in the evening, discuss it with your support workers, and then feed back to me during my Chief Executive report on the 28th what you like about it, what you don't like about it, and hopefully that'll be the final strategy going forward to save self-advocacy. Long story short, we have been aware for a long time of the situation with the groups. We are monitoring it. We are completely aware of everything that's going on. But what we've had to do is get our timing right. Sometimes you've got to get the timing right about when you take action and when you don't. And it's complicated. Part of that reason is because sometimes if you jump in too soon, you can cause more problems than if you if you don't actually do anything at all. So sometimes you've just got to be very careful how you do that. This strategy will hopefully outline to you the fact that we think it is time now to ramp up our efforts, and this will show you what we think is the best way forward. As a National Council, of course, you will ultimately agree with it or disagree with it, and you will be the ones that will make your mind up whether that's correct or not. So that's a very, very important piece of work there that we look forward to presenting to you. And the final important part of the National Council, although lots of it is important, is the another consultation we've sent you from the Cardiff People First Commissioner, Learning Disability Commissioner petition. So Cardiff People First petitioned, that means you write to the Welsh Government, and they were asking for a Learning Disability Commissioner. Members in Cardiff People First thought there should be a commissioner. That's somebody who can fight and help fight for services and good outcomes for people with learning disabilities who have got power and influence within the government. And they said that that's what they like. It's been agreed between them and All Wales People First that if the groups across Wales also agree with this, that All Wales People First would push this as a national action, possibly a campaigning action. So at the meeting, we will be discussing whether you as a National Council or whether members across Wales think we should push for a Learning Disability Commissioner. And in the consultation, again, an easy read that's been sent to local groups, it will give you information about why we should have a commissioner, why we shouldn't have a commissioner, because obviously we want to give you both sides of the argument. Then it will be up to you to decide how you want to go forward and whether All Wales People First will take that as a national action. So I hope groups, you have managed to have a conversation about that and have a think about that, because ultimately you're going to decide at the National Council whether we go forward on that. I'll end this message by saying thank you for listening. We're trying to make this year another victory for self-advocacy. We have plans, we have irons in the fire. It's going to be a year I can envisage of fighting and hard work, probably more so than ever before. I just want to reassure you all, everything's on our radar. We know what we have to do, we know what's needed, and we look forward to engaging with you as time goes on. Thank you very much.